The people heard the screams and ran to see what was happening in the river. There, they saw Princess Zahara struggling. Even the men who stood guard by the river were scared for their lives, as anyone who dared to touch the princess loses their heads. Once upon a time, in the vast and vibrant kingdom of Munda, there lived two princesses born to the benevolent King Juma and Queen Aisha. Princess Adamma was the elder sister, known throughout the kingdom for her kind heart and unwavering compassion for her people, always seeking ways to uplift her people and ease their pain. She spent her days among the villagers, listening to their tales, easing their burdens and showering them with kindness. On the other hand, Princess Zahara, the younger sister, possessed a strict demeanor that sent shivers down the spines of those who crossed her path. She believed in ruling with an iron fist, demanding unwavering loyalty and instilling fear in the subjects to maintain order and control. Princess Zahara believed fear had more effect than love, so she ruled with a tight fist. She was feared and all her commands carried out with perfection. No one dared to disobey her commands, for the consequences were dire. As the years passed, tension began to rise in Zamunda as the time for King Juma's successor drew near. Princess Adamma, beloved by all, was the natural choice for the throne. Her genuine concern for the welfare of the kingdom had won the hearts of the people. However, Princess Zahara had other plans. She invited some heads of organizations in the kingdom and threatened them to make the people choose her as the queen of the land, threatening to wipe away their existence if they did not make her the queen. The people were scared and didn't know what to do. Princess Zahara believed that ruling through fear was the only way to maintain power and control, and the people feared for what will happen if she lost the throne. The kingdom was divided. While some were ready to give their lives for Princess Adamma to become the queen, others were scared of Princess Zahara and feared for their lives. The final stage for the throne competition was for the people to choose who their ruler would be. The people feared for that day. A fierce rivalry ignited between the sisters as they both laid claim to the throne. Princess Adamma, guided by her principles and compassion and justice, pleaded with her sister to see reason and unite for the good of the kingdom. But Princess Zahara remained obstinate, refusing to relinquish her desire for absolute authority. She told her sister to face her own path and get ready for the oncoming competition for the throne. She hated how her sister ruled, saying she was too weak and she could never join hands with her. One fateful day, tensions reached their peak as Princess Zahara's reign of fear reached its climax. A severe drought plagued the land, leaving the people desperate for food and water. Princess Adamma, ever compassionate, organized relief efforts, distributing water and supplies to the suffering villagers. She was always out, seeking relief and solution to the people. However, Princess Zahara, consumed by her thirst for power, forbade anyone from accessing the kingdom's river. This river was her bathing and relaxation spot, and no one was allowed to enter when there was no drought. It was known as Princess Zahara's river because she loved it there. But now, all the rivers in the kingdom had dried up except for that particular river. Princess Zahara was enraged when her sister pleaded with her to let the people enter and use the river. She bluntly refused, fearing it would weaken her grip on the people. Ignoring her sister's pleas, she sent her palace warriors to stand guard by the river. Whoever dared to enter the river would be killed on the spot. She advised the villagers to go fetch water at the neighboring village, which was a great distance. Tragically, as the drought persisted and the people's suffering deepened, they spent hours on the road trying to get water from their neighboring village. Princess Adamma felt really bad for her people, but there was nothing she could do. One fateful evening, Princess Zahara felt like taking a bath in her river, so she dressed up and strolled down to the river. The evening was beautiful with a bright full moon in the sky. She removed her beautiful sandals and climbed on the high rock in the river so she could jump in. But while standing alone by the river's edge, trying to adjust herself, she slipped and fell into the deepest part of the river. Despite the desperate cries for help echoing through the kingdom, no one dared to defy her decree and come to her aid. The people heard the screams and ran to see what was happening in the river. There, they saw Princess Zahara struggling. Even the men who stood guard by the river were scared for their lives, as anyone who dared to touch the princess loses their heads. Princess Zahara had made a decree that no one can touch her delicate skin or even go close to her unless she demanded it, claiming her skin was fragile and delicate. This decree was to place herself above all others and also strengthen her power over the people as the supreme being. The penalty for touching her skin, even if it was a mistake, was death. As the princess drowned, everyone stood and watched with horror. No one dared to touch her, as they all feared for their lives. Princess Adamma, upon hearing of her sister's peril, rushed to the scene. Ignoring the fear that gripped the onlookers, she dove into the river without hesitation, her heart filled with concern for her sister. But it was too late. Before word got to Princess Adamma, who had the only power to touch her, Princess Zahara had given up the ghosts. In the end, Princess Zahara's reign and fear had drowned her in the very river she sought to control. And as the kingdom mourned the loss of one princess, they celebrated the ascension of another, Princess Adamma, whose compassion and kindness would guide Zamunda into a new era of prosperity and unity. She ruled with compassion, knowing that true power lies not in fear, but in the bonds of love, compassion, and unity. What are your thoughts, and what moral lesson did you learn from the story? Please let me know in the comment section.